In this video, we'll talk about some of the albums released in the month of April of 2022. These are albums that I did not get a chance to review. I'm not going to waste any more time, so let me get right into it. The first album I will review is The Offering by Lords of the Trident. They are an American heavy metal band, and they were recommended by the Fire Burns Within channel. They are a new band. They've been active since 2008. Their sound is a mixture of power metal and heavy metal. I know the Fire Burns Within love this album, but it was just okay for me. I was not blown away, but the songs are catchy. Lyrics and vocals are power metal style, with the lyrics being very fantasy oriented. Some songs have heavy riffs, such as Acolyte, a song that also has melodic lead guitars. Charlatan has some cool thrashy riffs with power metal sound. There's also a ballad like Champion. This is a decent album. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is Wolf with Shadowland. This band is from Sweden. They've been around since 1995. I've never listened to this band before. I like it a lot. It's heavy metal, reminding me a lot of Mike Howe era Metal Church. Songs are heavy, very well done. And the songs are not only heavy, but the riffs are very memorable and the choruses are very catchy. So for example, a song like Visions of the Blind is a very good example of that. Another good song, The Time Machine, great song filled with chunky riffs. Another good song, Rasputin, really great thrashy riffs. And I like this album a lot. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Trick or Treat, an Italian power metal band. They've been around since 2002. They have a sound similar to Halloween. The album is called Creepy Symphonies. The album was also just okay for me. Not too memorable. None of the songs really stood out. It was a fun album, very upbeat tone. The songs have lots of energy. The guitars are melodic. Some of the song titles are like play on words, like Have a Nice Judgment Day. This one was okay. I'd probably rather listen to the original Halloween, but this was just a 7 out of 10 for me. Hällas is a Swedish progressive rock band formed in 2011. They play 70s style progressive rock, hard rock, and a little bit of heavy metal. The album is called Isle of Wisdom. Opening track, Birth into the Darkness. That one immediately reminded me of 70s Rush with progressive sounds and time signature changes. Lots of complex riffs and hard rock guitar chords. Vocally, it reminded me more of a band like Uriah Heep or Wishbone Ash. A song like Illusions Gate has galloping guitars and medieval style guitar riffs. Has lots of melody. They incorporate futuristic keyboards, reminding me of early Styx. The album grew on me after a few listens. If you like classic prog rock mixed with 70s hard rock, check it out. This one's an 8 out of 10 for me. Treat is a melodic hard rock band from Stockholm, Sweden. The album is called Endgame. They were kind of big in the 80s. They opened for bands like Wasp and Queen. They took a long break in the 90s and they came back around 2010. This album was also recommended by the Fire Burns Within channel, and he really loves this album. For me, it was good. I mean, not great, but good. The song's very melodic and catchy. It reminded me of that band Eclipse. They're from Sweden. The songs have a sound reminiscent of that 80s hair metal, something like maybe Bon Jovi. Big choruses, guitars, keyboards, arena rock vocals. Opening track, Freudian Slip, sounds like it came right from the 80s. Wake Me When It's Over is a power ballad with a big keyboard sound and melodic vocals, and this one was very good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Axel Rudi Pell is a German guitarist. He's been making music for a while now. The album is called Lost XVIII. I've heard a lot of other channels talk about this band. I never really listened to them, but before this album, it's melodic hard rock. The songs have awesome guitar playing, catchy choruses. They're hard rockers. There's some ballads. For example, Gone with the Wind, classic 80s style power ballad with a big emotional chorus. No Compromise. It's a hard rock song with chunky guitar riffs and sound also reminiscent of 80s melodic rock. So the chorus, when he sings that song, shout it out loud, there is no compromise. They're very catchy. If I remember a song and I sing it, it's very catchy. So it's a good one. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Next is Cancer Bats. They're a Canadian hardcore punk band from Toronto, Ontario. The album is called Psychic Jailbreak, released on April 15th, 2022. This one was just okay for me. Reminded me of heavier grunge or alternative metal. The opening song, Radiate, kind of reminded me of Rage Against the Machine. That lots of energy, a very thick bass sound. The band is also stoner metal. They have a song called Lonely Bong. That one has some cool riffs and overall grungy sound. Another good one called Crocodiles, and reminding me of early Nirvana with that feedback and those riffs. The album is heavy, grungy, it's sludgy, not too bad, but I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Crisix, a thrash metal band from Spain. They're fairly new. They formed in 2008. So the album is called Full HD. Another one recommended by the Fire Burns Within channel. Just really heavy thrash metal. The vocals reminded me of At the Gates. I know they're death, but it's just fast and heavy thrash. And there's like a little bit of death metal. They're kind of like very heavy. They incorporate other sounds. They mix in some acoustic guitars, and other things, keep it interesting. So second track, Fire Hazard, really cool galloping thrash metal riffs, fast drum beat, and heavy vocals. And the vocals are understandable. And like classic thrash, songs take you on like this roller coaster ride. They have some tempo changes and chunky palm muted riffs. Some other great songs, Macarena Mosh. There was a song called John Was Made for Metal. So of course, I gotta like that song. There's no way I can't like that one. And it's good. If you like old school thrash, like maybe like Anthrax or Exodus, check it out. This is 8.5 out of 10 for me. Next is Joe Satriani, The Elephant of Mars. So this was recommended to me by Josh Keish. I started listening to Joe Satriani in the 80s. I haven't really listened to him that much since, but this album piqued my interest, after it was recommended. It's his 18th album. He still plays technical and melodic hard rock and metal. He still sounds as good as I remember, I remember him from the 80s. He has that signature sound, and you know it's him after listening to a song for a few seconds. My favorite song is called Dance of the Spores. It has like a psychedelic rock sound. It's slow, it's haunting, has a nice bass sound, and like classic melodic guitar playing. Another good one was East 104th Street, New York City, 1973. I'm assuming that's an old address of his. It's like slow, jazzy, cool guitar acrobatics. And a really good album. I score 8 out of 10. Evil Invaders. This was recommended to me by Hammerheart Metal Reviews. The album is called Shattering Reflection. This band plays old school classic 80s style heavy metal. A little bit of speed metal. They're from Belgium. They've been active since 2007. The album has 10 songs with 2 instrumentals. The album opens with Hissing in Crescendo. This one has some old school heavy metal riffs. Fast paced. The vocals are kind of like in the higher range. I'm thinking like Painkiller era Judas Priest, like Rob Halford type. Some squealing guitar riffs, chunky guitar riffs, and nice rhythms. Another good song, Sledgehammer Justice. This one's just fast-paced, high-energy speed metal. Those like higher-pitched vocals. Then they have like a slower mosh part in the song, and that really makes things interesting. So if you like old-school, high-energy, classic heavy metal, speed metal, maybe thrash metal, check it out. This one is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. My last band, Gunash, recommended to me by the Chill Dude on the Couch. They're very unique. They are from Italy. They formed in 2003, and the album is called All You Can Hit. Sounds like 90s grunge, but they mix elements of like progressive rock and metal. They remind me a little of like Voivod, a little of Alice in Chains, maybe some Faith No More. Some of the songs are heavy, some are more mellow. For example, the opening song Revenge, that one reminded me of like early like Pearl Jam with some like Nirvana. It's very grungy sounding guitars. BJ Quinn reminded me a lot of like Voivod, like very unique sound. And Emerald City, it's an instrumental, cool groove to it, nice riffing. Crimson Tentacles, another cool instrumental, more laid back and haunting, and with like this 80s goth sound, some grungy riffs. Another good song, The Graveyard Keeper. It's slow, it's haunting, reminding me of like Alice in Chains or maybe like Stone Temple Pilots. So if you're looking for something different, check out this album, and this one will be like a 9 out of 10 for me. It's just very original and unique. That is all. So thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Up next, I will be doing a similar type of video called my top 10 albums of April. I will probably include some of the albums I just mentioned in this list. And that will be coming tomorrow. And then after that, I want to do a Rammstein, a full ranking of all the albums, including Zeit. So that is all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.